two characters have to deal with a dark moment in their lives and learn to move past them. This show is one of the most powerful ways to portray the journey, with all of the interesting characters and scenarios presented to the viewer. I'm going to be looking at the embodiment of the human condition struggle itself, Infinity Train, Season 1. For people who are used to Cartoon Network shows over the last decade, then the art style will immediately be familiar, as it very much follows in the wake of those past shows. The characters themselves do not have much detail to them, however the world around them has a sizable amount of detail and animation to it. I won't spend too much time on the art style or music on this analysis because I feel they very much take a back seat for the most part, but just know they are good. This story, when boiled down, is about getting over it. Original reference, I know, but it really is. Tulip has run away from home after her divorced parents tell her she can't go to the coding camp she has been looking forward to. While trying to get there on foot, she stumbles across the Infinity Train and hops on for a ride. Now stuck on the train, she tries to get to the conductor so she can leave. A lot of this show's charm is in the different character personalities and creativity for each of the different train cars. Obviously, one of the big standouts being the Corgi Kingdom car, which captures the spirit of dogs very well. The bulk of the writing for this series focuses on Tulip's journey to accepting what is the reality of her world. She's mad at her parents for getting a divorce, blaming them and in some ways blaming herself for it. She has to accept that her parents were not happy together, breaking down the rose-tinted memories she kept close to her. The scene where she actually remembers what happened at SeaWorld was very effective. Instead of the dolphins and her parents being happy, the whole scene is barren and depressing. Also being a commentary on real life, that there are a lot of parent relationships in real life that are just drab, they don't look good, and your memories of the past are very much tainted by what you wish it was. One is a fun side character with jokes that almost always landed for me, especially the negative half. Atticus was an adorable sidekick with a story that really hit me in the feels near the end. Aside from Tulip's journey, I think the main antagonist was a big highlight here. For only being here near the end of the story, her backstory is a very perfect mirror to Tulip's issues. This sort of storytelling is very similar to Over the Garden Wall, having the antagonist basically be the embodiment of what the protagonist would be if she gave in into her worst aspects. Recent edit to the script here, a side thing I wanted to talk about. I originally didn't have in the script anything about some of these train cars that I really liked, and I wanted to talk about them. One of them being the mirror car. The character arc where she has to confront her reflection that has been forced to live her life for her entire existence is very heartbreaking. She's forced to live the life of another, even though she herself is a unique person and only wishes to live out her own existence. I recommend you watch the show because it's hard to put into words what makes this thing specifically so good. Also, the noir and mirror cops were insanely creative with their designs and dialogue. Another side note afterwards, the Crystal Room with the top hat wearing Crystal Man was really great. Her having to sing an embarrassing song to him from her past really works to great effect with how she's struggling to confront these feelings from the past. Of course, the entire story primarily focuses on Tulip's journey about coming to terms with her past and overcoming it, but the story does have other side plots that work as well. One and Atticus both have their own little stories that have satisfying payoffs, but the cat character was not the greatest, as even with some backstory, she just isn't very dynamic. She felt extremely flat, but played the role of a three-dimensional character. I think one of the best things going for the show, aside from the direct story, is the lore surrounding the Infinity Train itself. I just find the idea of a train that has these interdimensional train cars that can house entire worlds to explore just so interesting. I can't recommend the show enough. This first season is a mini-series, so it doesn't take too long to get through. The final thing I want to talk about more is the antagonist. She lost her husband, who was a coder, and she dreams of having him back because he was taken away so soon. So she takes over the Infinity Train. One was the conductor, so she usurps him so that she can take over the Infinity Train, try and make an interdimensional train car where her husband is alive again. It's very compelling that she just can't get over it, so she tries as much as she can to live the past, perfectly mirroring Tulip and her struggle, as they both eventually have to get over it. That's it really. The show is pretty simple overall. The only real complaint I had for it was the simplicity in some ways. That ideas aside from Tulip and the antagonist could have been explored more, but maybe that's for season 2, what it plans to do. A little bit of a more calm, less intricate writing analyzed, but writing analyzed nonetheless. If you enjoyed, subscribe and check out the playlist for more videos like this one. I recently released an analysis on Over the Garden Wall that I'm very proud of, so go check it out. I hope to see you next time.